Trump strikes again. His shocking new insult aimed at Kamala Harris sparks controversy. Is this a distraction from the real issues? Let's dive in. Donald Trump has unleashed a new line of personal and ugly attacks, this time aimed directly at Vice President Kamala Harris, calling her lazy. The former president made this comment during a roundtable event with Latino voters in Miami, where he falsely claimed that Harris has been absent from the campaign trail, despite her relentless pace of appearances and interviews. Now, this kind of rhetoric isn't new from Trump, but calling Harris lazy is especially charged, and it's raising eyebrows for more reasons than one. Could this be a strategy to feed into negative stereotypes? Is Trump using these comments to shift focus away from his own shortcomings or controversial positions? We're going to break down exactly what's behind this attack, why it's resonating with some and backfiring with others, and what it means for both campaigns moving forward. Let's take a look at what's really happening here. First off, while Trump wants people to think that Harris is sitting back and taking time off, the reality is very different. In fact, as political commentators have pointed out, Harris has been crisscrossing the country, participating in interviews and public appearances, maintaining a relentless campaign pace. But Trump, in true form, is seizing on a false narrative that he hopes will dominate the media cycle. But here's the thing. This attack isn't just a simple jab at Harris, it's a part of a larger strategy that Trump and his campaign have relied on for years. By shifting attention to personal insults, Trump often diverts the conversation away from policy, especially when the policies he's pushing are unpopular. For example, he's been criticized for his stance on abortion and economic issues like tariffs, which aren't playing well in key battleground states. Instead of addressing these controversial positions, Trump is playing into what some call the culture wars, using personal attacks to stir emotions and distract from the real issues. Now let's get deeper into why calling Harris lazy is particularly problematic. Critics have pointed out that this kind of language taps into long-standing racial and gender stereotypes. It's no secret that women of color, especially black women, have historically been labeled in these ways, and many believe Trump is using this old, harmful trope deliberately. But why? What does he stand to gain from it? Well, it's simple. He's trying to force the media and the public to focus on his personal attacks rather than his policy positions, especially on topics like reproductive rights and the economy, where polls suggest he's vulnerable. So, is this tactic working? Are voters paying more attention to these insults than to the issues that actually matter in this election? Well, not entirely. While some of Trump's supporters may rally around his remarks, others, particularly Democrats and even some moderate Republicans, see through the strategy. Vice President Harris, for her part, continues to push forward with her campaign, undeterred by these comments, focusing on what truly matters to voters: healthcare, the economy, education, and rights. But the stakes are high. With the election just weeks away, both candidates are fighting for every vote. The polling numbers in key battleground states are razor thin, and the Harris campaign knows that it can't afford to become complacent. Every appearance counts, every voter engagement is crucial, and the campaign is working tirelessly to close the gaps and secure a win on Election Day. One interesting shift we've seen from the Harris camp is their outreach to moderate Republicans and independent voters. Recently, Harris even participated in an event with Liz Cheney aiming to appeal to Republicans disillusioned with Trump's brand of politics. Is this a risky strategy? Some say yes, arguing that focusing on flipping Republicans could take attention away from energizing the Democratic base. But the Harris campaign seems confident in their ability to do both: energize the base and pull in moderate voters. Will this dual strategy work? Only time will tell. In the end, this is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable elections we've seen. Trump's personal attacks, like the one on Harris, might fire up his core supporters, but they could also alienate critical swing voters. And for Harris, the challenge is to stay focused on her message while navigating the toxic political environment that Trump is famous for creating. So what do you think? Is Trump's latest attack part of a well-worn playbook to distract voters, or could it hurt him in the long run? Will Harris's relentless campaign pace pay off on Election Day, Or are these distractions going to pull focus? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.